Now, I know I'm going to make a lot of people upset with me with this video, but you know what? Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to say it. I feel like it's very typical for us to, look at the most obvious and just really focusing on that. But I mean, it is pretty obvious that Jelani Day was living some type of secret lifestyle. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm just gonna be frank. He was living some type of secret lifestyle. I'm not saying that it's his fault that he got killed. I'm not saying that whatever happened to him was justified. But what I am saying is that I'm just really curious about Jelani Day as a person, separate from how his family know him, separate from how his community knows him, separate from how he's even known as a student. At the end of the day, we all have a dark side. We all have a shadow. We all have demons that we deal with on a daily basis. And again, I'm going to make it very clear. It doesn't matter what your dark side is, what your shadow is. It does not justify anybody the right to take away your life, or anybody the right to harm you or anything like that. But I do want to highlight the fact that, whoever he had dealings with, these people had access to protection that he did not have. Jelani Day was a young black man striving towards success. And it's not a secret that area, Illinois, is racist. It's not a secret. However, he was still out there and, striving towards this career and this success. And I'm sure not everybody was happy about that. But I don't see that as just because him being a student and, being successful. I don't see that as the reason why he would be a target. I think it's more to the story that we're really not digging into. I just got finished watching another YouTube video, and it just seems like everybody's just focusing on one angle of the story. And it's kind of hard to put myself in this position because I already know I'm going to get so much backlash from this, but it's really crazy how there's no accountability. There's no accountability to really expose truth. I feel like people just want to blame, but let's talk about accountability. Let's talk about truth. What was it that Jelani Day was involved with that connected him to these people? I don't think these people are just going to seek him out for no reason. I think Jelani was dealing with something. I can't help but to keep remembering how the mom, she mentioned time and time again that Jelani will call her for no reason, just to say, "Mom, I want to hear your voice." That to me is striking. That to me is concerning, because I'm curious what was happening. What was Jelani Day dealing with? What was he facing that he just wanted to be close to his mom's voice? Yeah, there were some things happening with his dad's health There were a lot of pressures with school and so forth. But I don't think those were the reasons why he wanted to hear his mom's voice. I think there was more to it. I think there was more to the story. And the family has put up a good, I hate to use the word front because it sounds like that's kind of be like a little shady, but the family has put up a very good public front in regards to Jelani. They make him seem like a very upstanding guy, in no trouble, caused no harm to anyone, just on this road to success, aspiring doctor. He's loved. Everyone, admires him. He's just this perfect person. But we all with common sense know that there's no perfect person. Even Jesus himself, he failed. He turned over a table. So I'm just so curious to learn more about this mysterious person, Jelani Day. I think like when we start to really unfold and uncover and start to dissect and investigate who Jelani Day was, that will help us to tie to the truth about what really happened to him. I think a lot of people are working backwards. A lot of people are being very typical, with their research, like, oh, let me look into the professor. Oh, what was this? What was that? Let's start with the individual. Because, I'm no detective, but from my kind of experience from, watching detective work, they always start with the individual. And I'm guessing that there were some secrets about this individual that people just don't want to accept. And if the right individuals, meaning law enforcement or the police department and stuff like that, if they were to start mentioning perhaps who and what Jelani Day was involved with, then they would come across as, oh, they're being racist. They're targeting a young black man and they're profiling. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. But I'm almost sure that these detectives have some information that the family does not want to accept, that the family does not want to believe, that the family would not be ready to listen and to hear. And I feel like it will lead the public and the community in an uproar because of how we are. That's just how we are. So, somebody has to come out and say it. I hate to be that one, but come on. Like, we really have to deal with home if we want to really find out what happened to this young man. Again, I'm going to repeat. I am not accusing Jelani. I am not saying it's his fault. I am not justifying anybody and saying that they have a right to cause harm or to have killed this young man. He has a right to choose his life. He has a right to choose his dealings, his behaviors, just like anybody else. But what I am saying is that if we take the time and just try to really get to know who Jelani was, because he comes across as very mysterious, if we take the time to get to know who he was, that will help us to trace what exactly happened to him. Now, somebody on campus, somebody wants to speak up, but they are afraid. And I believe they are afraid because you have some powerful people that are also involved in this case. And as history knows, it's always usually the family member of someone who's connected to law enforcement or some powerful position. We already know that. That's common sense. Okay? This case would not have gone so far if the mom did not do what she did and make the moves that she did to get public attention. They would have just tried to sweep this under the rug like anything else, because that's what these people do. And it's not right. And what I'm saying is, if we really want to find out what happened to Jelani Day, if we really want to expose these people, then we're going to have to just accept that maybe, perhaps, Jelani Day was involved with some things. And like I said, that's probably going to be difficult for some people to hear, because a lot of people just want to think that their person or their family member is just, you know, spotless. But there's no one on earth spotless. And of course, it wouldn't be in the best interest for the family to say it publicly or to expose anything, because then the police will be like, oh, okay, well, see, this is why we didn't, they can't really justify why they didn't pursue or take the case seriously, but that would kind of just give them like like a slap or whatever, like, oh, okay, well, well, he was involved in some suspicious activity, so criminal behavior is criminal consequences. But it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. And I am a supporter of this family getting justice. I'm going to make that very clear. I am a supporter of the family getting justice. And I'm also a supporter of the public getting justice, the public of learning exactly what happened to Jelani Day. Because now that this has become a public issue, it is also a public threat. I do not believe that ISU is safe for Black students or minority students, because just the fact that, ISU is, they're making some efforts, but I don't really think that the efforts are too astounding that they're setting the tone that, Black students are safe. I think that Black students who attend that school, they are aware that they are in white territory and they have to walk a fine line. Maybe Jelani pushed the envelope a little bit with that one and pissed some people off. I don't know. But we're not going to find out the truth unless we start to really expose the truth. And we already know that the part about them being racist, I mean, that's common sense. That's no detective work there. That's obvious. It is very typical for people to keep saying that they're racist. Well, duh. Yeah, they're racist. We already know that. But what was Jelani involved with these racist people? Who did he trust? Who did he confide in? And why do we still not have any information on his cell phone records? We already understand that, according to what a family member said, Jelani Day didn't have social media. Is that not a red flag? Come on, ladies. When we're dating a man and he doesn't have social media, we're looking at that like a red flag. Why we don't see that as a red flag when it comes to this case? Oh, because we're going to say, oh, he was too focused. He was too focused on his career. He didn't make time for social media. Everybody in his family has social media. He loved his family. Why wouldn't he want to stay connected with his family on social media? And again, I'm not making this up. This is according to a family member who said he didn't have social media. So why are we not talking about this? Why are we not, trying to investigate who Jelani was, what type of person he was, what was he involved with, what was he doing, he was a student, how was he making his money, how was he earning his way through life, how was he getting gas money, was his mom financing everything? He prior to him getting the apartment, where was he living? Was he living on campus? That was the place the place that he was living at when he died. She's mentioned that was his first off-campus apartment. Where was he living prior to that? Was he living on campus? Why are we not investigating his previous roommates? And as history knows, there's always somebody on some type of sports team, football team, or something like that. Why are we not investigating that? Why are we not, we want to protect these kids' future scholarships and these kids' future careers? Are the coaches involved? Like, come on. This is nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. And I feel like a lot of people are acting remedial when it comes to this case because they're stuck on a shock factor. Let's get past the shock factor and let's really do some really serious detective work. Because if we can pull up all this other information, I'm sure we can pull up so much more, right? So, like I said, I do strongly believe that there is somebody on campus who wish that they could tell exactly what happened to Jelani Day. They are terrified. They are haunted. They are being tormented constantly. They're not about that life. But these evil Knievel people who did this to Jelani, they are. And I think if we continue to talk and we continue to expose and continue to highlight, then somebody is going to have a come to Jesus moment. Hopefully. It might take some time. But somebody's eventually going to have a come to Jesus moment and really say what happened to Jelani. And I just want to ask the question, are we going to be ready to hear the truth? Are we going to be ready to hear the truth? So that's kind of just like my update. I feel like this situation is really, really going cold. This mom, she's constantly begging and pleading, and the family is constantly, putting on this public front about, the movement, Jelani, and I get it. I really do. But the sad part about, what we know about these cases is that people stop caring. Eventually, people stop caring. The majority of people eventually stop caring. And we already seen that because, it was really trending at one point. Like, you couldn't go through your news feed without seeing Jelani Day. Now it's pretty much slowed down. And the family is still fighting. The family is still advocating. I expect the family to do that because that's their family. But the public isn't. And it's really sad, it's really sad that this is the downside of when we send our children to school in their neighborhoods. This is the downside of, thinking that our children can what do I want to say? Can achieve greatness using their resources and their school systems. This is the downside of it, because sometimes, unfortunately, our children get involved with their children and things happens, but nobody want to talk about it. Nobody really want to say what's really going on. I mean, was he into any drugs? Was he into any, a lot of young people are into trading now. I don't know what it could be. Honestly, I'm just speculating. But honestly, I just feel like in speculation, there's always going to be some type of clues. And I feel like the clues are all connected to Jelani Day. Another thing that I want to add is that, so another reason why I say what I say is because, and this is not biased. This is common knowledge, but it's not common because people don't commonly talk about it, right? So Jelani was part of a fraternity, and not just he was a part of a fraternity, but I believe also his dad is and his brother. So there seemed to be like a family tradition where they're all part of fraternity. I'm not sure if it's the same exact one or it's just fraternity. So that seems to be like a family tradition that, they're very proud of, right? But as we know, we don't know too much, right? These are secret societies. Things happen within these communities that the public doesn't know about. Unless something bad happens and then, it gets exposed. But a lot of times people will do things to cover up bad things so that it doesn't have an overall reflection on the organization as a whole. So why are we not talking about that one? And these young men and young women are trained. They are trained to hold secrets. They swear to secrecy. So a lot of things that they know and they see, they witness, the public doesn't know about. Even their own family members doesn't know about it, right? So I'm curious to know, is the mom also, sworn in to some type of sorority? I don't think so, but it would be helpful to know if she is, because I feel like if she is, then she would have an idea of maybe some stress and pressures that Jelani had experienced. Or if she wasn't, then she would be oblivious, because there's just some things that you can't even communicate to your own family members, especially your own mom. Like, imagine something humiliating happening to you, and it was part of the process for you to get sworn in, and then you tell your mom about it. Mom is gonna get crazy. Like, mom is gonna be like, what? Like, you did that? They did that to you? Mom is going to sound alarm. Mom is not going for that. Mom is not going to sit there and, keep that secret about something bad happening to their child and just to become part of a fraternity. Like, usually mothers are not going to hold that secret, is what I'm trying to say. So these are all different angles that we could look at. I'm so over the fact that people are being so typical with keeping the microscope on the police department. That's so typical. We have to get creative if we really want to expose this case. We got to get creative. And sometimes getting creative is going to cause upset to some people. Even in our own Black community, people are going to be upset that I'm saying what I'm saying right now, because it's not the popular thing to say. Now, I know that I am not the only one. I'm not the only person with these questions, with these curiosities. I know I'm not the only one. So if you are out there and you're thinking like me, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, what you're coming up with, because we can't just be one-sided about this. Like, it would really be a disservice to Jelani. It would be a disservice to our community. And it would be a disservice to, other kids who could possibly be in a same situation, if not similar, or thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on. We have to ask these questions, the hard questions that nobody wants to ask, because it seems like, oh, you're profiling. Oh, you're creating a narrative and blah, 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 all of this stuff. But I can do this because I'm not a family member. Family members, their tongues might be tied because it's just not probably in the best interest for them to say certain things that would make Jelani look a little questionable. I get it. But we as a public, we can just, you know, call it what it is. And we don't have to be naive and oblivious. We don't have to pretend like, like we're naive and oblivious. We can speak freely because we don't have a dog in this fight, right? So it's like, I don't have a dog in this fight. But at the same time, I am very concerned. I am very saddened by what happened to him. I don't think it's right at all. I do feel like his family deserve closure, minimum. They deserve some type of closure. The public, we deserve closure because we all want to know what happened to Jelani. What happened? So, I just feel like, I don't know. It's just, this is just something that came to me and I just can't let it go. It just struck me when she said that he would just call her and want to hear her voice. It struck me when a family member said he didn't have social media. It struck me. That just never seemed right. And it's not going to seem right. No matter how many other stories or evidence or anything, news come out about this case, is not going to seem right until the truth is exposed. And then it will all make sense. And like I said, it's not just about, about us speculating. It's also about another student that's on that campus, maybe tied up in the same situation, or if not similar, or even contemplating being in a similar situation. Let's just speak the truth. Jelani pissed somebody off. Warranted or unwarranted. He made somebody mad. Somebody was mad about his blackness. Somebody was mad about his potential. Somebody was mad about his intelligence. Somebody was mad about his talent. Somebody was mad about his personality. Somebody was mad about his charisma. Somebody was mad that he was shining. Somebody was mad. He had a flashy car. Come on. Black guy. In a racist town with a flashy car, aspiring to be a doctor. Graduated, now in medical school. He made somebody mad to their core. And the question is, why were you mad? What were you mad about? Whose feelings did he hurt? Did he take somebody's girl? Was it over a girl? Was it over some drugs? Was it over some money? Come on. Like, we're not going to act clueless. Like, these things don't happen. Come on. He was 25 years old. Hello. Like, he was 25 years old. Okay. He was caught up into some stuff. Whether we want to say it or not, he was caught up into some stuff. Yes, that's not a reflection of who he is, but like I said, everybody has a dark side. Everybody got a shadow. We all got to deal with it. So who did he upset? Who did he piss off? This is just, it's just sad. And until we really find out who this mysterious person, Jelani Day, was, we are further going to be kept away from the truth. I think if we really want to find out exactly what happened, we're going to have to dig up the bones that we don't want to see. We're going to have to do it. So, I'm going to definitely stay tuned with this because I want to know. And I really, 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 really hope that the family gets the closure that they need, that we all need. And I really pray that whoever did this to this young man, that they are held accountable, because it's just not right. It's just not right. The forces of evil are strong, but you know what? God is even stronger. And I really pray that, his mom's faith prevails, and I believe that it will. I believe that it will, because you know what? Honestly, from me knowing how my God works, is that when God wants to expose something, he don't just do it on a mini level. It has to be, mega. It has to be like just big, like he says, I will bless you in the presence of your enemies. I will bless you in the presence of your enemies. So in order for him to bless you in the presence of your enemies, some things has to get exposed. Some things have to be revealed. Some things have to be, the light has to shine on some things. There has to be an audience. There has to be massive news coverage. So I do believe that regardless of whatever he was doing, regardless of whatever he was in, God is going to have his way, and God is going to have the final say. I strongly believe that. I strongly believe that, because he says, I will bless you in the presence of your enemies. In the presence of your enemies. So your enemies they got to watch. They got to see what's going on. They got to be present. They have to be present. So I just really, stand in agreement with the family and prayers that whatever happened to this young man, it will be exposed, and let God have his way. Well, until then, I will see y'all on the next one, but be safe and be well.